for, and he's made everybody else wait for the cream, and he's had one mouthful, and then he's just stubbed a cig out right in the top, and the sound of it just like going and everyone looking at it, that's just, it's horrible. It's like such a cinematic moment. It's fantastic.
Proper like close up on it as well. Hey,
classic
Tarantino, like doing close ups on significant stuff like that.
He loves his westerns.
He does.
They're all westerns.
They are, and like I say, there's the tension in those scenes with him in. I don't know whether I've seen a film with as much. With this same guy every time. Excuse me. Yeah, I just the most evil person. One of the most evil people on the planet in terms of films that I've seen. Just so heartless and cold and just.
And the fact that when he gets to the end of the film, all he can think about is just getting his house on Nantucket. Just like he's kind of just trying to save his own skin, isn't he? At the end, just like Yeah, such a good shout. Yeah, man. Why didn't I think of that? Great, well done. Very good choice. Okay, my number 2. Okay, I'm going to save the last one because I think we may have one clash right at the very end.
Okay.
So my second one, I'm going to go for John Malkovich's character in The Line of Fire.
The Line of Fire?
Yeah. Have you ever seen that?
No, I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, mate. This is a Clint Eastwood film where he plays a presidential minder. So it was in the 90s. I think it was mid-90s. Clint Eastwood plays a kind of aging presidential minder or bodyguard, whatever you want to call them. And he was... The backstory of his character is that he was guarding President Kennedy at the time he got assassinated. So he's always had to live with the fact that he didn't reach Kennedy's car in time to jump in front of the bullet.
Sure.
Right? So, but he's still a fantastic guy, but he's just got this PTSD, basically, of having a president die on his watch.
Yeah.
Right? And then he gets older and older and he's like doing his best or whatever, but obviously there's lots of scenes of him like running beside the limo with the current president in it in the 90s.
Yeah.
Fictional, obviously, but he's running beside it and he was obviously like losing his breath and stuff, and he's getting a bit too old for this basically. and all of a sudden there's this like disgusting like guy that we don't see for the first half of the film. We see him writing these horrible letters and stuff and sending little mail bombs and stuff to the president and stuff.
Sure.
And there's clearly somebody like out to kill the president. So Clint Eastwood is like, it's my time.
Yeah.
I've got to stop this guy. I've got to save the president's life. All this sort of thing. And about halfway through the film, you see who it is who's trying to do it, and it's John Malkovich. And he just plays such a great, like, creepy, slimy weirdo, basically, who's obsessed with trying to kill the president, basically. Sure. And there's this huge cat and mouse where it's, the president's on the campaign trail, so that the president's people are very keen for him to still be seen in public and out doing these rallies. And Clint Eastwood was like, no, don't go out there. He's going to try and kill you. He's going to shoot you, all this sort of thing. But, mate, if you've not seen it, it's so good.
Man,
it's such a great 90s film. Loads of good, like, American, like, FBI baggy suits in it and stuff, Lots of, rolled up sleeves and, like, massive mobile phones on the hip pocket.
Yeah.
Like,
there's, like, leather pistol, holders on the
big time
shirts. Sure, man. Great.
But if you've not seen it, give it a watch. Anybody out there who's not seen it, it's great. I think it's on one of the big streaming services at the moment, because I watched it recently again. But yeah, John Malkovich is acting. Yeah, because he plays a very, even though he's a creepy killer, he's like ringing Clint Eastwood all the time, and they're trying to trace the call and stuff. But he obviously never gives him just enough time.
Yeah.
But he's always very calm and like slimy. And then there's this one scene where he like loses it and he screams at Clint Eastwood. And like whenever you're watching it with anyone, everyone's like, oh God. Like you can see like the tension because he's like the spit coming out of his mouth. He's screaming down the line. It's just like, top-notch acting. Wow. It's really good.
Man.
But yeah.
Awesome. Okay, man. I'm excited. I want to watch that now, for sure. That sounds great.
And anything with Clint Eastwood in, obviously, it's always great.
I can't believe how old he looks, even in that film. And that was 93.
Yeah.
God. Fair play. Cool. Okay. All right. So, do we just say
Well, go for your third, and I'll cross my fingers that it's not the same guy. Even if it is, we'll just talk about the guy.
Sure. I'm going for another Another Hans.
Yeah, of course you are. I think we've got the same guy.
I think we might do. Hans Gruber, baby.
Yeah, man. The greatest villain of all time.
All time, ever. 100%. Dude.
Yeah.
What can we say? He outsmarts the police and the FBI.
Yep, easily.
100%. This is a big thing for me of a villain. Like, he's outsmarts everyone but the protagonist.
Correct.
If it wasn't for John McClane, he would have got away with it.
Yeah.
No one would have stopped him. He literally outsmarted everyone. Everyone played into his hands. They cut the power when he wanted them to. He did everything. Okay?
Agent Johnson. No, the other one.
Yeah. Not related. Yeah, man. What a dream villain. He's the Euro terrorist
European
vibe,
accent,
which I love. They're my favourite. You know how like films have got like a bit of a lag of the sort of in like action films they'll have like the antagonists will generally be like similar to real life. So for example, in the 80s you obviously had all the stuff from the 70s and the sort of Cold War of these like Euro terrorists, like communist people basically like blowing up planes and kidnapping freaking Olympic sports teams and stuff, and storming embassies. So these like very real threats then translate like 5 or 10 years later to films, and obviously now you have sort of like extremists within whatever religion or whatever nowadays. But they're my favourite. These like extreme like East German like terrorist guys, even though they aren't there in the end for that, but that's kind of how they lead you on, don't they, for most of the film. Yeah, that they're these sort of terrorists that are fighting for their freedom fighters brothers or whatever. Which I wish we had more of that, to be honest. Like really long blonde hair, just Viking looking people that are just like holding the smallest machine guns on the planet. Oh man,
with the smallest feet as well.
Yeah. But going back to Hans, slick talker, great plan, foiled right at the end. If it wasn't for John McClane, he'd have got away with that. Yeah, man,
beautiful bespoke suit,
great suit,
Savile Row. He clearly knows a lot about music, art, literature, history. Like he knows his stuff. Yeah, and I like this sort of almost like tongue-in-cheek, like. He's also a funny guy. Yes. Don't you think his character is almost like he gets jokes and he gets the irony, and when he's talking to John McClane and John McClane's being a cowboy, he's very like, yeah, I get what you're doing. Yeah. We're gonna have a fight sort of thing. Yeah. And it's not like he's not an idiot, is he? And again, they're almost very close, aren't they? One's just a New York cop, and one's like a European terrorist. But in terms of their sense of humour and the way they talk and their attitude, it's very similar, you know? Yeah. One's just dressed differently. One's not dressed at all, almost. Yeah. But yeah, great. And, you know, also, I think it's part of a good villain to die amazingly as well. Yes. You've got to die like falling into lava or being electrocuted wildly, falling off a building, like screaming all the way down, you know. You've got to die well, right? Sure. You can't just be shot. That's not the way that a villain dies. A good villain dies like in a very long, drawn-out way that makes you think, yeah, he deserved it because of this whole film. He's been a this whole film.
Give me
a second series, you shit.
I couldn't quite remember the full quote. I was like, glad you're here. Yeah, 100%. What is it at the end? So he's hanging out of the building. Yeah. He's been shot once, but he's not dead, and he's holding on to
a Rolex.
The Rolex that John gave.
No, sorry.
Oh, that's it. She
Holly's
got it.
Company gave
it to her for Christmas. That's it. And sort of he unclasps it obviously, and he goes crazy. But that scene of him sort of like slow mo falling, like scared.
Yeah.
For the first time, you know.
I'm sure I'm repeating myself now, but apparently that thing they held him up, Alan Rickman, the actor, like I don't know what it was, 20, 30 feet above this like little inflatable platform or whatever, and they were like, "Oh, we're going to shout action. You look like you're falling, and then that's it. Jobs are good. Yeah. Do your acting works, whatever." And then they do it, and they obviously like actually drop him from this rope, and he falls. So that like expression you see is him his heart sort of going, "Oh God, I'm falling!" Like they said I wasn't going to fall. I love this sort of thing. So yeah, it's not acting; it's real.
Great.
Which just makes it even better.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm glad we reconvened on the end.
I think so
there.
too, yeah. I'm glad. We didn't talk about this, guys, before. We think we just knew.
We're in sync.
Yeah. That's why I led with Hans, what's his name? Lander.
Yeah, when you said Hans, my eyes went, what? And then, a different word, I was like, oh. Okay.
Yeah. Nailed it. That was great, man. I think we've all picked super iconic ones. I feel like sometimes I'm picking too niche, but I feel like both of us have just...
They were all iconic, yeah. I think everyone will have seen most of those films. I mean, maybe not the Clint Eastwood one, but that's... Get on it. If you haven't... Any of those films we've talked about. In fact, and the books as well. If any of them are based on books, like the Die Hard's based on a book.
Yep.
Obviously, the Bond ones are based on books, so yeah, give those a read.
No GoldenEye, though.
Yeah, no GoldenEye.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unless they wrote a book after it. They might have done that, maybe. I don't know.
I think all of them have had, like,
some
books based on films. I don't know. I've not read it, but I doubt it's amazing if it's based on a film, you know. It doesn't work that way around, does it? No.
All right. So, before we move on any further...
Yeah.
I'm thirsty. You thirsty?
I'm always thirsty, mate.
Okay, so we've saved the strongest for last. This is Silver, Park Brewery. It's a DDH IPA.
What is that?
DDH IPA.
DDH. You know, you learn something new every day. This is... Oh, in fact, I've not learned it yet, but I'm about to. What is a DDH? You know what?
Dodecahedron. Which I think's a 10-sided thing. Christ. All right.
Oh, dry... I think it's something to do with dry hops.
Dry hops.
It doesn't specifically tell me, but it says our biggest dry hop to date. Okay, cool. So, Silver something dry hops IPA. We're guessing.
Yeah.
Apologies to the Park Brewery. Perhaps you could
They'll let us know.
They'll let us know. Yeah, I'm sure it's fantastic. Yeah. So this is 6.4. So this one's a big boy in comparison to the ones we've had. Okay. Some of the words on the back here. What I'm looking to.
Hops, beer, some of the other words. What we got? Park.
I always like to see how people describe their beers because I think, you know, is that the same as what I'm getting? You know, sometimes they describe something and not the Park Brewery. Sometimes other breweries say something and I'm like, no, I didn't quite get that or whatever. So let's see. A few of the words that are jumping out to me: bright, citrus, orange, peach, passion fruit. Ooh. Fantastic. I like a passion fruit.
Same here.
So let's see how it goes. Whoa.
Oh, hey. Oh yeah.
So I mean the name Silver, that could be a villain in itself.
Silver, yeah.
Here we go.
Reminds me of that MMA fighter. Don't know if you've ever seen him.
You know what? I don't know much about
his first name. Andrea, I think, or he's that Brazilian.
Right. I mean, it looks like passion fruit. It looks like passion fruit juice, like coming out of the can. It looks amazing. It's kind of
smell it, passion fruit.
Yeah, it's a very sort of very opaque.
Yeah,
like
right. You can't see through it at all. Oh Jesus! Jinx,
Jinx, ditto.
You owe me a DDH IPA. Oh my gosh, the fruit flavours straight up,
wow.
but then wow.
It's definitely stronger. Straight off the bat. That's it. Yeah, I'm glad we saved this till last.
You know you're drinking it.
Yeah, I think that would have knocked me over if I'd have started with that. Beautiful.
So this would not be one I would then pass to my missus.
Exactly.
Because it's got a lot of flavour, but it's got that sort of slightly bitterness to it, which I like.
Yeah, me too.
It lingers on the tongue as well for ages. Of all the beers we've had, this one's got the longest finish. Like I can still taste it now a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Very bold flavours, strong flavours, all of which I'm enjoying. I've definitely got the passion fruit.
Oh yeah, big time.
For sure.
Big time.
Holiday buffet. Always go straight for the passion fruits, mate. Because you never get them at home, do you? When you're at the all-inclusive. Yeah. Straight in there, little spoon. They're always
so fiddly as well. It's just like,
far too sour. You're just like... Your face caves in on itself, doesn't it? Eating a passion fruit. I like to have my passion fruit like malted with hops.
Yes,
in beer form. Oh, this is beautiful.
This is really good.
This is later on in the evening sort of stuff. This is if I've been in the pub with my mates for a few hours. I'm starting to get red in the face.